So today we're going to be taking a look at a scenario where Pakistan forms an empire in 2022. Now a little while ago I made a video where India formed an empire in 2022, and I promised that I would make a Pakistan because, you know, the two rivals need to have each other's videos, if that makes sense. In order to appease everyone, I should say. So Pakistan is going to be buffed up and they're going to be going to war with their neighbors. If you guys enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you're new. That really helps me out. And let's go ahead and get started. So throughout this entire video, Pakistan will be represented by the color of red. So when you see red, that is Pakistan. In addition to that, like I stated in the beginning, Pakistan will be buffed, so they're going to be even stronger than they are in real life. So if your country gets slapped by Pakistan, just remember that they are buffed. This is their video, therefore they have bragging rights and can do whatever they want. So Pakistan's first ordeal is to go to war with a weaker country that surrounds them. Now, they only border 4 countries here: China, India, Iran, and Afghanistan, and you can probably guess which one it's going to be. So we have Pakistan moving into the mess that is Afghanistan. They push in from all sides of their border and capture the Panhandle. From here, they push across and capture Kabul, and from here, they have to experience the same thing that the US did for 20 years, guerrilla warfare. But like I said, Pakistan is buffed, and we're going to go ahead and assume that they can take on this warfare. So after splitting the country into 2 and taking over each individual part, we have Pakistan fully annexing all of Afghanistan. So just like that, Pakistan now borders some weaker neighbors such as Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan, which is, I'm really bad with these countries. They border Tajikistan, they border the Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan. Can we just get rid of these countries? I know they won't work in a union, so why don't we just blow them all up? I mean, don't kill the people, obviously, but get rid of them. That was a joke. Don't get mad at me. Anyway, next up, we have Pakistan declaring war on Tajikistan. Pakistani troops push into the south and start their invasion of the country. But then we see Kyrgyzstan join the war because Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan have some tensions, so it really wouldn't be out of this world to see them fight. We have Kyrgyzstan pushing across the border and into Tajikistan as the country crumbles, and eventually it surrenders to both sides. And there we go. There is the peace treaty. So Pakistan got a majority of Tajikistan, but Kyrgyzstan did get a little bit, and they connected some of their exclaves. And with this, we have Kyrgyzstan and Pakistan forming an alliance. Now, in real life, I'm not really sure about the relations between these two countries, but I think Kyrgyzstan and China have some kind of friendship going, and then I know Pakistan and China are allies. So maybe it all 3 goes around and kind of works like that. But now they have a little friend to the north, and they're going to be invading the northwest now. So teaming up with their ally, they declare war on Uzbekistan. Kyrgyzstan immediately pushes into Uzbekistan with the help of Pakistan and starts to invade the eastern parts of the country. Down south, we also see Pakistan pushing up in through Pakistan itself and in through Kyrgyzstan. But eventually, Uzbekistan starts to fold as the country surrenders. So taking a look at this peace treaty here, we have Pakistan taking over a little bit of southern Uzbekistan. And then we have Kyrgyzstan taking a little bit as well, and the rest is puppeted by Pakistan. So now, in order to fix this horrible border war, they go to war with Turkmenistan. Immediately using troops that they already have on the border, they push in from a majority of their sides. Seeing that a majority of their hope is lost, Turkmenistan decides to just surrender over to Pakistan before they get absolutely slapped. And it seems that Pakistan respects that because they weren't made into a puppet, they were just released. So, yeah, we're looking at a very thick Pakistan here, and India might be a little bit scared. But before the two rivals go to war and inevitably kill each other, Pakistan starts to gear up for Iran. Iran is a force to be reckoned with. They're pretty strong, and Pakistan, I don't really know if they would be able to beat them in real life. Nuclear-wise, I'm pretty sure Pakistan would win, but when it comes to sheer manpower and then like technology and stuff like that, I know Iran has been building up. Anyway, after a lot of build-up and preparing, we have Pakistan declaring war on Iran. At first, I sweep in from the east and start to push towards Iran's capital, which is the main focus of any country going into war with another. They're doing pretty well as they've already taken over a quarter of the country, but after reaching the Caspian Sea, they run into a problem. The first problem is Iran is pushing back in the south, and the second problem is that India has just joined the war on the side of Iran in order to stop Pakistan's expansion. Now, Pakistan was completely unprepared for this because they thought that India would respect the 1v1, but apparently they're not going to do that. And we have Indian troops pushing across into Pakistan. Now, with Pakistan in a pretty bad scenario, they obviously call their puppet and Kyrgyzstan into the war, and they set up a defensive line over here in Iran. And that defensive line looks something like this. So with this, we have Indian troops pushing into Pakistan and taking over their southern coast, as well as pushing towards Islamabad. Luckily for Pakistan though, they do manage to push India out of the gates of Islamabad, and even start a push into northern India. Over in Persia, we see Iran push back the Pakistani defense, and eventually connecting all of their southern shore. And even up north, we see Iran reconnect with the Caspian Sea. So with that, the Pakistani defense falls back to the border as Iran retakes their country. From here, we see India and Iran connect, and start a push into southern Pakistan. Now, luckily for Pakistan here, they're going to have 2 additional allies, one of them being Saudi Arabia because Saudi Arabia, and 2 being China because we all know Pakistan and China are allies in real life. So now with these 2 additional allies, we're going to have Saudi Arabia focusing on Iran, and of course we're going to have China focusing on India. Now, like I said, you can't get offended about this video because A, India already has a video, China also already has a video, and Iran does not. But I don't think there's anyone from Iran watching my videos because of suppression. But also, like I said, Pakistan is buffed. So we have China pushing into eastern India. Eventually, they take over all this area. We see Pakistan and China both pushing into northern India. Southern Pakistan is reclaimed. A push into northern Iran is created. Overall, all of India starts to fall, and New Delhi is starting to be threatened. India is completely pushed out of Pakistan. Tehran is captured. Saudi Arabia makes a small naval landing, eventually push up and start to capture the Persian coast. Iran retreats from Pakistan, and consequentially, we have Pakistan pushing back into Iran. From here, Iran starts to slowly cripple until they eventually surrender. And over in India, Pakistan starts to push in on their border. We also see China squeeze through this tiny little gap and into mainland India, and eventually we have New Delhi being captured. With this, India starts to fall pretty rapidly, but there is a lot of uprest against the Pakistani invasion. Eventually, the government decides to surrender and cross their fingers that they aren't completely dismantled. Alright, we have a fairly interesting peace treaty here. So starting off with Iran, we actually have Saudi Arabia getting a little bit of Persian coast. Now this was a kind of like a... I was debating if I should do this or not because it looks kind of ugly. But why not? Of course, we have Iran becoming a puppet of Pakistan, and then of course Pakistan takes a little bit of land from Iran, specifically a little bit of coast. And then when it comes to India, I try not to get rid of the country completely because, like I said, I don't want to make anyone too angry, but you really can't get angry at me for multiple reasons that I've already stated. First of all, we have Pakistan taking over a big portion of western India, specifically up near Kashmir, and then over here in the south. And then, of course, we have China getting a little bit too, so they get a little bit of land over here, and then, of course, they get all of eastern India. Now, I was also debating about this one because poor Bhutan would just be annexed by China eventually, but for now, they're probably fine. And yeah, that is going to do it for Pakistan's empire here. So, they've taken over some pretty strong neighbors, such as Iran and India, and they've managed to prevail. And of course, they've made some friends along the way, such as Kyrgyzstan, and they were already kind of friends with China. They got some new puppets, such as Uzbekistan and Iran. And overall, they probably have their own sphere of influence now, specifically over Turkmenistan. And then maybe a little bit over Arabia, and maybe over Kazakhstan. And it would be at this point that Pakistan would be up there with some of the more powerful countries, such as India and Russia. Maybe not like a superpower like the USA, or not a world power like China, but definitely up there, if you know what I mean. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Actually, I want to talk about the series just a little bit here. So, analytically, now I don't want to base everything off of analytics because that's not really healthy for the channel. It's more about audience and preferences and stuff like that. But analytically, the Empire videos haven't been doing as well as they used to be. So maybe the country in question wasn't as popular, or the series is just dying. I'm not sure. So if you guys want to see the continuation of the Empire videos, then let me know in the comments. I don't plan on stopping them, but if they keep downward trending, then I'll probably cut the series. 25k merch, it's still out. You're seeing this video on February 2nd, which means there's only 10 more days as of seeing this video that you can get the 25,000 subscriber design. If you want to buy merch, AdizzPromerch.com. You don't have to if you don't want to, obviously. Also, the giveaway. I'm going to be announcing the giveaway winner at the end of February, not the last day of February, but towards the end. And that's just for shipping time and delivery time. So if you haven't gotten your merch yet, no worry. You have till like towards the end of the month. In order to enter into the competition, you got to join the Discord server and send a picture of the merch to one of my Discord moderators. So I'll just have the staff role. It's not hard to find. Make sure you also tell them what you want to be shouted out. It could be YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, anything like that. Anything you want shouted out, I'll shout it out for you. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. And I will see you guys in the next video.